Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wal aqibatu lil muttaqeen. Wa la udwana illa ala al-zalimeen. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh khatam al-anbiya'i wa mursaleen. Allahumma salli wa sallam ala abdika wa rasulika Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ومن دعا بدعوته واستنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Amma ba'd. All praises are due to Allah, Lord of the worlds, and surely the best reward is for those who have taqwa. And surely there is no animosity except for the oppressor. And I bear witness that Allah is one and has no partners, and that Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, is his servant and his last messenger. And may Allah always and constantly send peace and blessings to Muhammad, to his family, to his companions, to all those who call to his way, establish his sunnah to the day of judgment. As to what follows, usikum wa nafsi bittaqwallah azza wa jal والسمع والطاعة. ويقول الحق سبحانه أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن تتقوا الله يجعل لكم فرقانا ويكفر عنكم سيئاتكم ويغفر لكم والله ذو فضل عظيم. I begin by cautioning myself and you to have taqwa, al-khawf wal-raja, that we fear Allah, we hope in the mercy of Allah. We surround ourselves with a wiqaya, a shield, a spiritual shield, the consciousness of Allah. That we are aware of the Creator, not only in the masjid, but outside of the masjid. Not only on special occasions, but in everything that we do. And I advise myself and you that we hear the words of Allah Azza wa Jal and we obey. He has revealed to us in Surah Al-Anfal, in verse 29, giving a deeper understanding of the result of taqwa. We are cautioned to have the consciousness of Allah. We are cautioned constantly, every Jumu'ah, that we should fear Allah, hope in the mercy of Allah. But Allah tells us, in giving us more understanding of this, in tattaqullaha yaj'al lakum furqanan. If you have the consciousness of Allah, if you fear Allah, He will make for you a furqan. He will make a criterion to separate the truth from falsehood. And He will release you from your sins, forgive you. And Allah is the Lord of great bounty. O you who believe, in this time of great crisis, in this crossroads that the Muslim world is at, we need to reflect upon the mercy that Allah Azza wa Jal has given us to be Muslims in this age. Taqwa itself, this consciousness of the Creator, is the bottom line. It is the main factor in success. And Imam al-Shawkani rahimahullah and many of the other great ai gave more explanation of what taqwa leads to, the furqan. Al-furqan is thabat al-qulub wa quwwat al-basair wa husn al-hidayah. That with this furqan, this criterion to separate good from evil, we have thabat al-qulub, our hearts will become strong and strengthened. And we will have basair, the power of insight. That we don't just look at issues on the surface, we go under the surface to try to understand what is really happening. And finally, husn al-hidayah, that Allah would give us the best of guidance that we need in these times. And surely right now, We are in need of this strengthening of our hearts, the proper sight, looking at matters in the totality of the issue, and also seeking the guidance from Allah Azza wa Jal in this very critical point. People are on the streets. The Muslim world is rumbling. And this rumbling has been going on for a long time. It is what they say, what is happening in Egypt, they say it's the tip of an iceberg. You only see a small little iceberg on the surface, but 90% of it is underwater. You don't realize the immensity of this issue. That we are seeing Muslims out on the street expressing themselves not only for the Muslim world, they are expressing themselves for humanity at this point in time. But we live in an age of deception. We live in an age where people have the ability to make what is true seem false and make what is false seem true. To put words in people's mouths, to change scenarios and beam it around the world so people all around the world are watching this at the same time. There is illusions around us. There is an illusion of civilization. There is an illusion of success. There is an illusion of stability and happiness. People, especially in the Western world, are living in this illusion. One of them is happening right now in America, when the people are now going into what they call the Super Bowl weekend. And they are saying, no, we will enjoy ourselves. No, we will have fun. But the snow is coming down. It is some of the worst temperatures in the history of America, since records have been taken. Some of the worst temperatures, but they are in the illusion, they say, no, it is a time of joy. It is a time of happiness. Planes are being grounded, but they still say, no, it is a special weekend. That is the illusion. What is really happening is something of immense importance. And I come to you as believers from the northern part of the Americas, from Canada, and we have seen some strange things that are happening. The polar bears in the north cannot find their feeding grounds. They cannot cross because the ice caps are melting. Insects are flying not south. Insects in parts of Canada are flying north. There's something strange going on in this world. A study was recently done in South Africa to look at what is the condition of human beings. Scientists came from around the world to see some of the oldest finds for human existence. What is happening during our period of time on the earth. And they came to the conclusion that we are living in the sixth extinction. There have been 5 major extinctions over hundreds and thousands of years. Different forms of life have been completely wiped out. In some cases, continental shift. Some cases, carbon dioxide release. Some cases, asteroid impact on the earth. But different forms of life have been totally wiped out. Now, we are in the 6th extinction. This one is mammals and birds. And right now, 50% of the mammals on earth are extinct. They will never come back again. What is the cause of this? Some of the scientists say, no, it is human overpopulation. But that doesn't make sense, because there's plenty of fertile land that if we were not using our wealth to destroy things and to try to make more material wealth, we could irrigate hundreds and thousands of acres of land. But human beings, because of what we have done on this earth, because of pollution, misuse of technology, we have reached a critical point. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to us in the last testament, in Surah Ar-Rum, verse 41. Allah told us what was going to happen. And the companions of the Prophet ﷺ discussed this issue. Allah told us, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. Corruption has appeared on the land and the sea because of what humanity's hands have done. And we will make them taste something of what they have earned in order that they would return to the path. And so, Sadaqallahu al-Azim, it has come to pass, and now we see it even in a higher level. The companions of the Prophet ﷺ, they discussed what would be al-fasad fil bar. And they said because of the sins of Bani Adam, going over the limits, there would be a decrease in vegetation. There would be widespread death, corruption on the earth. Al-fasad fil baha. The companions of the Prophet ﷺ said that the fish in the oceans would decrease because of what human beings have done. And now we see it coming to pass in the recent developments taking place. We see now in the last 30 years major issues cropping up. And what they are saying now is that if we continue as a human race to produce waste, to pollute the atmosphere, that 70%, in 30 years, 70% of human beings will be suffering because of the direction we are going in. They also found out 1/3 of the fish are destroyed. 1/2 of the fresh water in our rivers and lakes has been polluted. They have also found out that 40% of the water in the earth, fresh water, has been destroyed, and in a short period of time, within 30 years, it'll be 50% around the world. They said in the Middle East and Western Asia, 90% of the fresh water will be destroyed in 30 years. So we are going into a major crisis. But the strange thing that they found, it is not just things on earth, not just creatures and vegetation, but the human situation is one of the worst things, because they found that more than 1 billion people are living in cities. They found that 2 billion people are at risk of malaria. 1/5, 20% of the population of human beings are eating 90% of the resources. That is the real problem that we face. 2/3 of humanity, over 4 billion people, are making less than $2 per day. 4 billion people. And so when people are on the streets in Tunisia, on the streets in Egypt, coming out, standing up against a tyrannical regime, they are not just standing for themselves, they are standing for the whole of humanity. This situation has reached critical points. It is a major test on the whole world. And the Prophet ﷺ did not speak from himself. And in an authentic hadith he said, speaking about this nation, Inna li kulli umma fitna wa fitnatu hadhihi al-umma al-mal. Every nation has a trial and test. And the trial and test of this nation is wealth. And we see it come to pass. Muslims in some of the parts of the world starving to death. In other parts they have so much wealth they don't know what to do with it. A type of frustration is coming amongst us. A frustration because of the potential that we have. We have over 26% of the earth's population. We have some of the richest people on earth. We have hundreds and thousands of soldiers standing at arms. We have intellectuals, we have books, we have technology, but we're not getting the results. Something is wrong. There's a frustration coming. With the great riches, there is poverty. With the large armies, we're feeling humiliated on the ground. They're not respecting us, not respecting our sacred sites. We feel a frustration with the leadership, a frustration with the scholars. Our scholars, instead of solving the problems of the world, they argue with each other over trivia. They argue over tashahud. Do you wiggle your finger or not? When people are dying in the streets. And so this frustration is causing people to cry for change. It is coming out of us in all different ways. And when a Muslim burns himself to death, out of his frustration, we have reached the limits. And as we cry for change, we need to go back to our sources. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has clearly shown us, Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change that which is in themselves. The issue that is striking us now is not what will happen, will change come about? But the issue now that we need to be proactive about is what will happen after the change. Will we be worse than before? And in many times our colonial regimes were overthrown. We were colonized by people who came from Europe. They colonized our countries. And when they left, in many cases, the people who took over, they were worse than the colonial masters. Some people even wish for the colonial master to come back, because a change had not gone on within ourselves. One of the great Imams, Imam Malik ibn Anas, rahimahullah, in looking at the sins of Bani Adam, remember what Sahaba said about Zahar al-Fasad, Dhunub Bani Adam. What are some of these issues we have to tackle? The Imam said, rahimahullah, Awal al-Ma'asi al-Kibr wal-Hasad wa-Shuh. He said the first sins was pride, jealousy, and greed. Hasada Iblis wa takabba. فَقَالَ خَلَقْتَنِي مِن نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَهُ مِن طِينٍ. فَقَالَ تَعَالَى فَكُلَا مِنْ حَيْثُ شِئْتُمَا وَلَا تَقْرَبَ هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةِ فَشَاهَ آدَمْ حَتَّى أَكَلَ مِنْهَا. So the Imam who thinks with the Quran, he thinks with this book, he said the first sins were pride, greed, jealousy, and greed. Iblis, may Allah protect us from his plan, was jealous. He was jealous of Adam alayhi salam, and he became proud. And he said, you created me from fire, and you created him from clay. And then Allah spoke to Adam alayhi salam and his Zawj, and he said, eat from wherever you want, but do not approach the tree. And Adam got greedy and he ate from the tree. Look at these three qualities of the many qualities facing us. Too much pride. We are proud of our language, proud of our color, proud of our passport. Some people just got the passport 10 years ago, and they look at their cousins over the border and they think they're lower than them because of the passport. Proud of our economic class, proud of our families. It is a fool's paradise. If a person says, well, I come from a family of ulama, so I don't have to study, he's in fool's paradise. If he said, my mother used to give sadaqah, so I don't have to give charity, he's in fool's paradise. Pride leads to takabbur. It leads to arrogance. And it's that arrogance and pride amongst us that we have to now deal with and start to look at each other not as people of different nations and tribes in a negative way, but part of the Qibla, Ahlul Qibla. Start looking at Muslims in a positive way, not because of his language or his color or the amount of wealth. What is the taqwa? The Prophet ﷺ said, that is the best one amongst us. It is the one who has the highest level of taqwa, the highest level of the consciousness of Allah. And so at this critical point, with the younger generation especially, we need to now not just react to the present, we need to complete the actions we are doing in the present, but plan for the future. Plan for the future. What will happen after the victory? Will we have the wisdom to be able to live in the 21st century with our deen? How will we approach it? In many cases, we threw out the oppressor, and then afterwards we start fighting each other. So we have to now look serious. And I want to leave you with a few points for the leadership, especially for the younger generation. Number one, we need an increase in taqwa. We need to increase the consciousness of Allah, to think about the Creator in everything that we do. Not just on special occasions, but in every part of our life, we need to realize there is one who is closer to us with his knowledge than our jugular veins. Next, proper knowledge of Islam. Our Islam can no longer be taken from culture. Oh, my father used to do that. My mother used to do that. We have to return to the sources. We need tajdeed. We need to revive Islam in a relevant way for the 21st century. So we will need to go back to the sources and put them into practice in a relevant way today. That means that all of us, with our own local tongues, we need to learn to speak classical Arabic. Everybody needs to try to learn classical Arabic, Fusha, so we can go into the text, we can go into the sources, we can understand the guidance from Allah and His Messenger. Number three, we need to pray to Allah Azza wa Jal for wisdom, hikmah. Wad'u shay fi mahali, putting things in the proper place. Now is the time. If we are now faced with a situation, we have control. How do we deal with the Christians? How do we deal with people of other Islamic movements? How do we deal with people who are confused? You need to go back to Rasulullah ﷺ, and you will see when he entered Medina, one of the three great activities he did, he made a constitution which recognized the people of the book. He did not force them to be Muslim. He helped them to be part of the city itself, respecting other ways, with Islam being the main way of life. So wisdom is a crucial issue right now. Not to go to one extreme or another extreme. Ummatan wasata, a balanced nation. Number four, the proper Islamic character. For a long time we focused on ibadat. We focused on making salat, paying zakat, fasting in Ramadan. But now we have to understand and put into ourselves, what is the purpose of salat? What is the purpose of fasting? What is the purpose of doing zakat? You see in Ramadan what the whole thing is about. It's not just an issue of the body. Why would the Prophet ﷺ said, رُبَّ قَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ رُبَّ صَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعِ رُبَّ قَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ قِيَامِهِ إِلَّا السَّهَرِ. Why would he say that some people who fast will get nothing from their fast but hunger? رُبَّ صَائِمٍ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعِ. And there are some who will stand in the night and get nothing from their qiyam but sleeplessness. Why did he say that? There's something else behind the fast. So Islamic character, this is the issue. And one of the beautiful things that I saw with the people on the streets in Egypt, a woman said the most beautiful thing was how people were cooperating with each other, how they were taking care of each other. She said, I thought we lost this in Egypt, but alhamdulillah, it is still in our hearts, and it is coming out. Even though the issue got difficult, the people cooperated with each other. The people showed love for each other and love for their land, love for their deen, love for justice, Islamic character. The Prophet ﷺ said, I have been sent in order to complete the best in character. The next, we need to pray to Allah Azza wa Jal for courage and conviction. And that is that the courage is not just a burst, but the courage is patience and conviction. Hold. Usbiru wasabiru warabitu. Have patience with each other, and bind yourselves together. Rabitu wattaqullaha la'allakum tuflihun. And have the consciousness of Allah in order that you would be successful. We also need, the younger generation will need to have a knowledge of the environment and the societies. We have to study the trends that are going on in the world. We have to study what is happening. We cannot bury our head in the sand. The khutbah cannot take us back 1400 years and leave us back there. People need solutions right now to the problems they are facing. And we hold gems of wisdom within us. Next, we need shura. Wa amruhum shura bainahum. They solve their problems with mutual consultation. This is the essence of the issue. Leaders not talking to their people. Leaders making unilateral decisions and not caring about those who have knowledge and those who are living in the society. So shura must begin on all levels, in our homes, in our masjids, in our communities, that we need consultation, talk to each other, open meetings, town hall meetings. This is what Rasulullah ﷺ did when they were being surrounded by the mushrikeen. They had no way out. A Persian man, Salman al-Farisi, he said, when we in Persia are surrounded, we build a khandak, we build a trench. This is a Persian man. Just learn to speak Arabic, not Qurayshi. The Prophet ﷺ, getting revelation from above 7 heavens, took the position of Salman al-Farisi radiallahu anhu. He took his position. And they dug the khandak, they dug the trench in the northern part of Medina. And so shura is so important. Cooperation and unity. We have to now break down differences between us. If there's a different school of thought, if there is a different Islamic movement, you need to start looking at other Muslims, not for the differences, what makes us similar. In many cases, 90% of the Muslim is the same as you. He prays like you, he fasts like you, he gives zakat. Why do we look at only the 10%? Positivity. Look to what binds us together. If there is a difference, give him nasiha. Give him advice. If he disagrees with you, make dua for him. That is the way of the great scholars of Islam. Next, we need a positive approach. The Prophet ﷺ, when he sent his followers out, he would tell them, Bashiru wa la tunafiru, yassiru wa la tu'assiru. Give glad tidings, don't drive people away. Make the deen, make it easy. Don't make it difficult. This is what is facing us right now. A positive attitude. It's a win-win situation for us. Yes, we are frustrated, but we need patience to hold ourselves and to do the right thing. And finally, we need outreach. We will need to take this deen, take our way of life, and show the people who don't have this faith, to bring Islamic solutions to the real problems of the 21st century. Then the world will realize that there is a last testament amongst us. There is a solution to the environmental problem, to the economic crisis, to racism, to murder, homelessness, drug abuse, political oppression. There is a last testament that covers this. There is a last messenger who has a sunnah that covers all aspects of life. This is a critical moment in time, and we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would raise up a generation that would lead the Muslim ummah in a new direction. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would protect all of those who are out in the streets in Egypt, all of those in the streets in Tunisia, all of those in Yemen and Jordan and all over the Muslim world. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them. May Allah bless them. May Allah bring their ranks together. And may Allah give them tawfiq and success in the struggle that they have right now. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect the children of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah protect the women of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah protect and guide the men of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah raise up leadership in our world to take our confused political leaders from darkness into light. And may Allah give them those followers who understand their deen, those followers who will live for Allah. They will give everything for the Creator of the heavens and the earth. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب استغفروا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله الواحد الأحد الفرد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. وأصلي وأسلم على خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وبعد، يقول الحق سبحانه مخبرا وآمنا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. وارض الله عن الخلفاء الراشدين أبو بكر عمر عثمان وعلي وعنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداء الدين وانصر عبادك يا رب العالمين. اللهم انصر المجاهدين في كل مكان خصوصا في فلسطين ومصر وتونس يا أرحم الراحمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا مريضا إلا شفيته ولا ميتا إلا رحمته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين. عباد الله يرحمكم الله. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. أقم الصلاة.